going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Niners News here on 49ers Hive. My name is Zach Hernandez, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Matt Llewellyn. And today we're going to be discussing whether or not Robert Saleh is confirmed gone as a head coach after the win against Arizona Cardinals on Saturday. Matt, that was as good as the defensive performance I've seen from this 49ers team. Is it all but, confirmed? Robert Saleh is out the door, getting a head coaching gig elsewhere in the NFL next year?
I feel like it is. And, the old saying, where there's smoke, there's fire, definitely applies here. You see it all over Twitter. Every talking head, every pundit, every writer, I mean, even us, we're just kind of like, oh, yeah, he's probably getting a head coaching job. And he should. He deserves it, But not only that, you have politicians in Detroit telling the team, hire this man. When you get to that level and you've had consistent success like Robert Saleh has, there's only one way to go, and that's up. And at this point, this is the second year in a row where he's had his name at the top of the list. He interviewed with the Browns last year, lost out to Kevin Stefanski, which by all accounts, Kevin Stefanski's doing a great job in Cleveland. They're going to make the playoffs this year. Baker Mayfield looks like he's turned it around since OBJ broke himself off at the knee, which is another topic. I feel like they should get rid of him, and we could take him. That's fine. But yeah, it pretty much Robert Saleh deserves a shot at the big chair, as it were. He needs to captain the ship at this point and see what he can do. And it's hard because I feel like more so in the NFL now than ever, offensive coaches are the darling picks, right? We've seen defensive coaches struggle. Dan Quinn got fired this year, defensive coach. Matt Patricia gets fired this year, defensive coach. But you also see some defensive coaches flourishing, like Brian Flores in Miami. It just depends. But to not give him a shot in the second year that they've been talking about it, I just don't see it happening. I think that somebody is going to give him that job. I think Detroit is a good fit. I think that the New York Jets are a good fit. And I think that potentially, Atlanta could be a good fit. So there are options out there. And, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see how he can bring that fire that he brings to the defensive side of the ball to being a head coach. I'd hate to see him leave. Obviously, he's a well-beloved coach here. All the players like him. All the fans like him. But, you also want to see, the baby bird leave the nest and spread its wings. So if he can get out there and expand Kyle Shanahan's coaching tree, all the better. But I think it's pretty obvious at this point he's going to get a shot with somebody.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And just real quick, looking back on his kind of trajectory and his growth, he started off as like a financial trader. Like this guy was not even coaching to begin with. And then Kyle Shanahan gave him a ring. I believe that's how he came into the NFL, or was he with another team previously? I think he was with Seattle, right?
Seattle, or I think he's a Gus Bradley guy.
Yeah. Okay.
It might be Jacksonville that he was at.
So he did get a shot before Kyle Shanahan called him, but he was pretty much completely out of coaching. He was never in it, and then he got that shot. And then when Kyle Shanahan got the head coaching gig here with the 49ers, he gave him a call, wanted him to be the DC. He took the job, and now only after Mike Vrabel took the Tennessee gig. But still, Saleh has come in and made a lot out of nothing. And when he first got here, that defense was absolute garbage. I mean, they did not have anybody, no big names. They were coming off of the horrible Chip Kelly, Tom Sula years. And he built a lot out of that unit, and it turned into one of the best units in the NFL. Look at this show where the 49ers are completely beaten up. Half of the team's been on IR at one point. They lost Nick Bosa. They lost Dee Ford. Richard Sherman's looking like an ancient player who barely plays. Quan Alexander's in New Orleans now with a torn Achilles. So the defense has been all over the place, yet it's been solid, yet it's been stable, yet it's been consistent. It's the one piece of the 49ers 2020 team where you can look to and say, okay, I can guarantee you they're probably going to give up like 20 to 25 points. And as long as we can count our offense to score 28, we're likely going to win this game. There have been a couple outliers, sure, as with any team. But Robert Saleh deserves a lot of credit this year for pretty much every win the 49ers have had. Because without that defense, they are not even in the game. And keeping that intensity and that game plan still bringing that fire every single week, especially this week against the Cardinals, knowing there's literally nothing to play for but your ego, your confidence. That's respectable, and that's something that I said this in the live stream, and I really do believe it. I don't think this game guarantees he's going to get a head coaching gig, because I think that already was guaranteed. I think this might push him over another candidate if they're neck and neck. I think a game like this one proves, okay, he can still get his team fired up when there's nothing to play for, literally. He can still coach when everything is there going against him. So the pieces are there, and he's got great traits. All the players love him. There's really not much negatives to say about Robert Saleh. So, yeah, I got to agree with you. I think he's all but gone. And hopefully the 49ers can replace him in-house, because they do have a lot of good candidates here in their own coaching tree.
Yeah. And one thing I want to touch on, yes, the 49ers have given up 24.3 points per game. However, 49ers are also one of the worst teams in the league in turnover differential, and a lot of that falls on the offense. So many injuries on the offensive side of the ball. Nick Mullins is a walking dumpster fire at quarterback. But the thing that offsets those points per game, when you look at total yards per game, they're fifth in the NFL in yards per game. So what that's telling me is the defense is doing its job. And a lot of that goes to Robert Saleh. And to touch on your point of injuries, he showed adjustments. He's blitzing more than he has in the past. He's running different looks. He's no longer doing the defensive end covering running backs on wheel routes thing that we saw before. He's no longer doing that third and forever prevent defense stuff that he was doing before, where they drop 8 and leave 3 on the line. He's not doing that. He's pinning his ears back and going after the football like he always does. And he's done a great job under the circumstances. And again, I think that is going to, like you said, push him over the top when it comes to that job. He was a hot name last year. We even speculated when the 49ers were really struggling, hey, is he going to cool off? Because we hear Dennis Allen in New Orleans, always Josh McDaniels with the Patriots. You always hear these guys. Robert Saleh has boosted his name back up into contention just based off of the back of the last couple weeks. He's going to get a shot. And again, I've never heard a bad thing about Saleh as far as from the players, from anything. He's a character guy. He's an energy guy. The cameras love to show him being fired up. He had a pullback guy today on the sidelines. You want that in your guy. Is he different from Shanahan? Of course he is. They're different personalities, but his personality style can work. He's going to be a more player-oriented coach, which, to be honest, is a little bit different than you see from defensive-minded coaches usually. The defensive coaches are always the one, the Greg Williams or whatever. What's his name? Greg, what the bounty guy, Yeah, Greg Williams. The Vic Fangios. They're the hard-nosed, like crabby, really angry guys. Even Matt Patricia's like that. Definitely can see Brian Flores has the resting, what face. They're always those hardcore guys, but this is going to be one of the few player coaches that we're going to see on the defensive side of the ball, and I think it definitely can work. I mean, not to bring up our hated rivals, but it seems to work for Pete Carroll, who's a defensive guy and is definitely a player's coach. So, he's definitely going to get a shot, and I wish him all the best, and thank you for the 2 third-round picks we're going to get. Hopefully we can turn that into something. And also, like you said, D'Amico Ryans, Coach K, there are in-house options that we can do. I know Dan Quinn's been floated around. Whoever we get, I don't expect too much drop-off from the defense from a standpoint of the players are really, really good. But some of that, how Saleh calls the game, that's what's going to be lost.
Yep.
And that's only going to benefit the team that he goes to. And, when that day comes, we'll all be, wishing him the best, but still missing him at the same time. And I think that's the only thing you can say for a coach. When a coach leaves your team and he can be like, man, I wish we still had him, but I can't be mad that he wants to do that. That's the best you can hope for, rather than don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Like with Tom Sula and Kelly, we were ready for them to go. So, good luck to Saleh. I think he can do it.
Yeah. One thing we haven't covered yet. Are you afraid of the guys he takes with him?
Mm, a little bit, especially if it's like Adam Peters he takes with him, because Adam Peters might want a GM job or something like that. If he takes, the run game coordinator, if he there are pieces here that are really going to hurt if he takes, and I feel like he is definitely going to poach some of the talent. More so on the defensive side, I think it's more of a concern. Offensively, Kyle is in such control that like he's just going to put bodies there, But in the end, I just think it's better to see somebody from Shanahan's coaching tree get out there and kind of spread their wings a little bit. So, yeah, I think it'll hurt short term, but I have full confidence that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan will replace them with people who are going to not miss a beat.
Yep, 100%. So I think we're going to leave it there, guys. If you like what you saw today, do us a solid, hit the subscribe button. We are giving away a 49ers jersey as soon as we reach 2,000. So make sure you are included. If you like this video, drop us hitting that like button and drop a comment below. What do you think about Robert Saleh? Is he all but gone? Do you think that he ends up returning next season? If so, why? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.
Go ahead and click the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Again, as always, thank you so much for joining us. And guys, until next time, go Niners.